How's it going, YouTube family? Farley here to do a quick comic book review. And tonight I want to talk about the recently released Elric, the White Wolf. This is out on Titan Comics. And this comic is based on the graphic novels and fantasy novels of Michael Moorcock, a really, really well-known fantasy writer. And if you're familiar with his works, this comic book is going to take place after the Ruby Throne. So if you're familiar with that storyline, you'll give you an idea where this story fits in. The comic does a great job of giving you like a summary of what you need to know to be caught up on this story. So there is a little prologue there that lets you know, hey, this is what's happened, and so it kind of gets you caught up. I'll give you a real quick summary. Elric is known as the Albino King. He rules over this town called Emir, and I may mispronounce some of these. They're spelled really, really crazy, so I'm not exactly sure of how to pronounce. But he's the Albino King, and by his side, Cimmerl is his wife and queen, and they rule together. Cimmerl's brother, though, Yurkun wants to seize power, so he kidnaps his sister Cimmerl, and so Elric goes after him, and his army kind of gets decimated, and so he summons the Lord of Chaos named Elric, who gives him the sword Stormbringer, which the sword feeds on the souls of people that he kills. So if he kills someone, it consumes their soul. He has to, in order for the sword has to feed. And so the prophecy is that Elric would actually end up killing his queen and the woman he loves and destroy his people. So instead of that prophecy coming true, Elric banishes himself from the kingdom, leaves his queen, leaves his kingdom in the hands of Yurkun to rule, and goes into solitude on an island, Dragon Isle. So he goes to this island, and so that's kind of where this story picks up. And in this story, he's kind of wandering. He's now known as the White Wolf. Again, he's an albino. And this story kind of takes place with him wandering. He comes upon a merchant who's actually selling slaves. He frees them, kills the merchants, and one of the slaves actually becomes like his companion in the story. His name is, I may mispronounce this again, Smorgan, who's a sailor. And in this story, Elric is summoned by a princess. Let's see. She's the heiress. Her name is Vasilis. And so the story kind of ends with she summons him, and he makes it to where she is, the kingdom where she is. And that's kind of where the story picks up. So, again, I don't want to give away any spoilers. This is a fantastic first issue. The story is awesome. Again, it's adapted from the graphic novels, and the art is absolutely fantastic in this. The cover, this is the variant cover B. This is done by Jean Bastide and Robin Recht. And then the interior art's done by Julian Tilo and Robin Recht. So this is just amazing art. I give the art in this a 9 out of 10. I'm trying to see if there's a splash page in here to show you. Another cool thing about this is, you know how some comics use the large panels and 3 or 4 splash pages to kind of eat up space in the comic book, and you don't get as much story? That is not the case here. There are very small panels. There's a lot of story to be told in this comic, and so you don't feel cheated on the story because they're using large panels. Most pages are I would guess anywhere from 7 to 10 panels a page, which you just don't see, and that's most of the pages in here. You really, towards the back is when you run into a splash page. I'll try to take some pictures that kind of show the art a little bit better because of the glare here. But the art is fantastic in here. I give it a 9 out of 10. I give the story a 9 out of a 10. This is the highest rated comic book that I've read this year. And I think if you're a fan of fantasy or just really, really good storytelling and art, I think this is a comic book that you should check out. If you've read Michael Moorcock, I think that this is a good adaptation of his work. And yeah, this is really, I am very, very excited to continue to read this story. This is really, besides the Venom storyline and the Punisher #1 that came out recently, this is one of the few comics that really grabbed me from the beginning and make me excited to get #2. Some comics you get a #1 and you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll pick up #2, maybe I won't. This is a definite. I'm going to continue this series, and so I think that most people would find the story very engaging, and also if you're a fan of artwork, I think you will not be disappointed. So, Elric, the White Wolf, gets a 9 out of a 10, and again, that is the highest rated comic for me so far this year. So if you've read it or if you intend to read it, let me know what you think when you do read it. I'm very, very interested to see what other people have said. I have not seen any reviews on this comic book. I know a lot of people were anticipating it, but since its release, I really haven't heard much from people on their opinions, so I'd love to hear your opinions. There's mine, 9 out of a 10. Check it out. Thanks for watching as always, and I will talk to you soon. Farley out.